Marvel's Avengers seemingly does a lot of things right, and at the same time has some areas within it that could use some improvements. But if we all take a moment to remember, Destiny was in the exact same situation back in 2014. This game is built and designed to meet the expectations of most Marvel fans, which I totally am. When the game begins, you are Kamala Khan, and the event you are experiencing is known as A-Day, a celebration on the Kamara that was supposed to be a fun meet and greet with the Avengers, as well as a celebration of new clean energy by a group of scientists that work in collaboration with Stark Enterprises. Of course, this didn't go to plan, and the very well-known Golden Gate Bridge action sequence takes place to give gamers a small taste of each superhero's abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. This review is going to have some highs and a few lows, but overall, it's going to be one hell of a ride. So with no further ado, this is the Marvel Avengers review you've been waiting for. Let's get into it. Before we get started, please remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll get alerted to all the videos and quality Mooch content as it releases. That being said, the Marvel Avengers beta released in early August, and over 6 million people played the game on various different platforms, PS4, Xbox, and PC. That also encompasses 27 million hours spent in the beta for those of you that just can't get enough in terms of metrics. I probably put about 5 hours into the beta myself. I don't mind betas, but don't like getting lost in them. Mainly because when the game launches, you have to start all over again and redo every character's backstory again. Honestly, who wants to play the same stories and intros that many times? But that's a me problem. On to the game itself. This game does a great service for all Marvel fans, and the writing and voice acting that went into Kamala Khan's character is nothing short of award-winning. Kamala really does an amazing job of portraying the feelings and emotions as she takes you through her story. Kamala's character is refreshing and exhibits exactly how any superhero fan would react at that age. Let's discuss the story. After the events of A-Day, the group known as AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, targets the Avengers as something of a bad influence on society and utterly banishes them from existence. Many think that the Avengers died as a result of A-Day or went into permanent hiding. Well, without spoiling too much of the plot, once our newly adventurous Avenger, Kamala Khan, hacks into a Stark Enterprise supercomputer, and we find out that AIM hasn't been as upfront as once expected with the public. Kamala finds out that MODOK's story he told the authorities and the media was not exactly the truth. He told everyone that he wasn't anywhere near the control deck or Captain America when the Kamara crashed down on A-Day. But this wasn't the truth, and Kamala finds herself a wanted woman and begins the story by trying to locate the whereabouts of the Avengers' rebel hideout. Once she finds the location of the Kamara, that's when the game opens up and really gets started. The game is a very well written and of course again has a star-studded voice acting lineup, including the well-known and never forgotten Nolan North, who plays Tony Stark, and Troy Baker, who plays Bruce Banner. The game is massive and seemingly has plenty of content as it launches Friday, September 4th. I've been playing the game non-stop since September 1st, when I was able to begin the game due to the purchase of the Deluxe Edition. The Deluxe Edition included some skin packs and nameplate decor, but the main reason to upgrade was to play the game 3 days earlier to get a good idea of the game for this review. The mechanics/controls are next, and honestly this may be the weakest area of the game for me thus far. Nothing I'm about to say is a deal breaker. You will get used to the controls, but they feel very loose as you get acclimated with the game. Here it's only been 2 or 3 days playing, and I'm already making the adjustments with how the controls react, and how to counter any issues I originally had when learning each character's basic skills and action sequences. The melee is fine for the most part, but as you jump and traverse the landscape with the intent to attack, you might feel out of sorts, almost like you're unaware of your whereabouts when landing, and where the enemy placement is after you've landed so that you can place a well-timed attack without feeling vulnerable. A good example is when you are in mid-jump and decide to hit either the triangle or Y button as the Incredible Hulk, and you land in a 360-degree turn while getting hit by various enemies. All this sounds really bad, but it isn't. You will get used to it and adapt to the surroundings, environments, and enemy movements all in a very short period of time as you play through the game. The lore of this game is more than just loot grinding. It's also the story. After all, this is the Avengers, so it's not just about the loot and level up system, it's about the ride you take with these characters as you roll through the stories, puzzles, and adventures that once were only available in comics and in movies. But now you get to take control, and you can be Iron Man or Captain America. It truly is one of the first Marvel games that I can say I've fallen in love with since the early days of the SNES, when we played a game called Marvel Superheroes. So everyone is talking about how it's the Avengers version of Destiny. I don't think that's wrong, but I also don't think that that paints the whole picture. After all, Destiny's story is being written and shown to us as new DLC becomes available. So in Destiny, you truly don't know who, what, or where you may go next. In the Avengers, we will meet known and beloved characters, visit familiar areas, and experience firsthand what we've known for years, but now get to take control of and change the fate of these characters by completing quests, missions, and leveling up so you can get the best outcome available. However, much like Destiny, there are vendors, factions to join, which in return give you cosmetics, which you can earn by doing missions, dailies, and weekly objectives. This all should seem very similar to the Destiny audience. Villain sectors are also a way to level up quicker and get your hands on even more prized loot and in-game currency. There are a bunch of secrets hidden in this game, so constant exploration is a must. They also incorporated over 50 different enemy types, so you don't feel like you're fighting the same foes over and over. This is beyond important, and honestly, I hope they add a whole lot more. One thing that gets super annoying and will eventually grow old and tired is fighting the same enemies repeatedly without change. Even if the game brings you to new environments, I really hope they keep the enemy models and content fresh and ever-changing as we move forward in this game's life cycle. This game also hosts modes like Mega Hives and AIM Secret Lab. The Mega Hives weekly missions almost seem to emulate a Horde mode with a twist. I haven't gotten into any yet, but it seems as you get further into the Hive, the enemies seemingly get stronger and stronger. As I understand it, you will have 4 superheroes, and as one dies, you will then get to take control of another. Once all 4 superheroes are dead, you'll have to start all over from the very beginning. But completing these missions will result in a ton of new gear, surprises, and upgrades for your character. AIM Secret Lab is sounding very familiar to Destiny's raids, in that you'll need to team up with 3 friends in a 4-person squad to defeat this challenge. It will be available once a week for a set number of time. This excites me. I've wanted to dabble in a Destiny-type scheme, but with characters I really care about and know more about. And if that wasn't enough, Crystal Dynamics has already mentioned that we're getting a new Avenger in Kate Bishop, better known as the wiser and friendlier Clint Barton, who will also be getting to play in the future. This game has so much going on and in store for us. I just hope the developers in Square Enix stay true to their word and keep this amazing content coming. Another hot topic concerning this game is when it comes to gear collected, or the loot acquired that you attach to your hero. Crystal Dynamics decided not to embrace Destiny's structure of allowing gear to reflect on your character's appearance. This is a debate that will not go quietly into the night. I personally see both sides of the argument. On one hand, I'd like to see the gear show on my character that I just worked so hard to acquire, and it also serves as bragging rights with friends. If the gear is powerful and it happens to look really cool. On the other hand, when you think of Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, you have a vision of what they look like and the outfits given to them over years of the comics. I mean, take a second to imagine Captain America wearing a vest with a gold shield and a Knights of the Round Table helmet. Is that what Captain America should look like because that's the gear you picked up? Not really. So I understand that they gave different skins that relate to the comic, but don't take away from the beloved history and appearance we've all come to know and love when it pertains to the Avengers. Again, I'm a bit torn on this debate, but if I had to take a side, I would lean more towards the direction that Crystal Dynamics took and keep our heroes as true to the comics as possible. I think another important part of this game is the level up system, both in terms of gear and special abilities. This is something that I think makes the game interesting and keeps you coming back for more and more. Each hero has their own abilities and gear that make them stronger, faster, and more agile. You can also customize their appearance with collectibles or purchasable skins. I believe a battle pass is being implemented, and it'll cost $10 or 1,000 credits to access it first. Good news is, if you complete the player's card, you earn back your 1,000 credits, and seemingly can buy the next battle pass using the credit you've earned. Is this great? No, not really, but it's also not the worst in terms of microtransactions we've seen in this game generation. Besides that, I think this is a game that's a must experience if you consider yourself a fan of Marvel Comics. There is such attention to detail when it comes to the comics, and placing Easter eggs everywhere throughout the world that caters to the Marvel fan at heart. Not to mention, it's the last big title of this generation before we get our next generation consoles and begin on that adventure. As an in-process review, mainly due to the fact that this game will continue to get content and continue to grow in scale and in the size of the community, my final thoughts on Marvel's Avengers is that it's a must-play if you're a Marvel fan, or even a fan of Destiny-style games. I'm hearing too many reviewers getting down on the games-as-a-service model or battle pass structure in the game. This game is designed to be a games-as-a-service, and they don't hide that, so I can't consider that a negative. It's like going to a Five Guys for dinner and leaving upset they didn't offer you a fish fry. The place is clearly built for making hamburgers. Look, my point is this. If you don't like games as a service models, or you don't like the concept of battle passes, this game isn't for you. But it's not going to generate a negative score when it's clearly what the game and developers intended the outcome to be. And at no point did they hide that fact from you. I hope you all enjoyed this review and video. Please take the time to hit the subscribe, notification, and like buttons. It really means a lot for the channel. Also, if you'd like to really support the channel, please consider hitting that join button above the description and become a Mooch Maniac family member. Thank you all very much, and we'll catch you in the next video.